All right, so this is your time to action plan. And we are going to start with the end in mind, because the first thing we think you should do when you go back is acknowledge the good work that's already happening in the homes that you are a part of, in the elders' homes. So turn to the second page at the bottom, and that's where we're going to start. So raise your hand if you recognize from these past 2.5 days that your team is doing some really incredible things that you want to go back and tell people about. Raise your hand. Who's noticed that, oh my gosh, we're doing really well with finding meaningful ways to engage the elders, or we're doing really well at engaging our community. Yeah, I love the hands coming up. All right. So what you're going to do over the next 10 minutes is really focus in on those things that you noticed are strengths or successes for your organization, the things you're currently doing really well, and you're going to name them. That's the first thing you're going to do, is put a name to them. And then we want you to think about, how do I go back and tell people? Because it's really important that I give them the right message and the right words. We talked about language right from the get-go, that the words are so important. So think about, what's your message? And you may not be able to create a whole 30-second elevator speech while you're sitting here, but you could at least come up with some key words or phrases that you think will inspire people to celebrate with you. So we want you to kind of start talking about that. And then there's a couple other bullet point questions for you to think about, because even though you're doing things really well right now, there may be some opportunity to continue to build on that, and there may be some barriers that are starting to creep up and starting to build up that you may want to be paying attention to and talk to people about. So you're going to give you 10 minutes at your tables. So find somebody that'll keep time for you. And what we want you to do is go through and write down your successes. Think about what your 30-second elevator speech is going to be, and then answer those other 3 questions. You can use the back. Since we have a 2-part form, you have 2 blank pages basically to write on as well. So Laura, start the timer.
Don't grab them yet, just be aware. Thank you for your help. So let's talk a little bit about low-hanging fruit. The process is going to be similar to what you just did with what you harvested. You and your teammates at your table are going to choose an idea based on, again, the things that you've learned this week, and maybe some of the stuff that came up in the mastery sessions that you attended. You're going to choose one idea. Notice there's a place there to write that idea down. Don't get hung up thinking about the idea forever, because you're going to get 10 minutes again, and you're going to need to, parcel out that time wisely. You've got some questions down there that we're encouraging you to ask about the idea that you come up with. I'm going to give you an example of an idea, and then we'll go through the questions. For low-hanging fruit, one example might be, I'm re-inspired to go back into my organization and talk to my colleagues about using our Eden eyes. What do you think Eden eyes are? Does somebody want to tell us what you think Eden eyes are? To look outside the box, to think through the lens of the Eden alternative philosophy, and maybe look for signs of loneliness, helplessness, and boredom in your organization. Take note of them. Start having conversations with your teammates about, wow, did you see that? Did you notice this? How can we be creative about this? Maybe that's one example of low-hanging fruit. Now, don't use that example. Come up with one of your own, tempting as it might be. But I just wanted to give you something to work with there. Now, the questions are, once you come up with an idea, why is it worthwhile? Think about a 30-second elevator speech. Don't feel pressure to come up with an entire one. Again, look for keywords, just some things you want to keep in mind. And who do you need to go back and give that speech to and engage in this cool idea that you want to try? And last, what barriers might you encounter that you're going to need to deal with based on the culture of your organization at this time? Any questions? All right, let's go for it. 10 minutes.
now, but I'm just curious. I want to kind of get a sense of where we're going to find our low-hanging fruit ideas. You did an awful lot of talking for not having any ideas. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, so the next one we want to go to is your not quite ripe fruit. So if you have an apple tree, it's going to be the fruit that's mostly green, a little bit red, and in probably the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to be ready for you to pick and eat. So these are the ideas that you found out during the conference, and you said, you know, we've done some work. We may be like immersed up to our ankles in it, but we still could go further and deeper, and we think we can do it in the next 3 to 6 months. And it's basically the same process that you just did. So it's another 10 minutes. Why is this idea worthwhile? What's your 30-second elevator speech to have other people go, yeah, that would be worthwhile? Who do you have to go back and give that speech to? And who are you going to engage? How are you going to keep them engaged? Because this is like 3 to 6 months, and in the life of your organization, there's a lot of distractions that can happen in 3 to 6 months, aren't there? Yeah, so how are you going to stay focused on it for that long a time period? Wow. And are there any barriers? So I was trying to think about some ideas that might be like in the 3 to 6 month range. So this might be things like, we're going to go tear down the nursing station. That could take some time. Or I love the conversation that Jill started with us this morning, Jill Woodward, about volunteerism. Maybe you want to go out and recruit some more volunteers, or increase elder choice. Or I know there were several sessions related to music and engaging elders in music. There were some about palliative care and reducing medications. That can take some time to get going, but you may already be on that journey. So think about what are the ideas you came up with that are probably going to take 3 to 6 months to really ripen, and see what kind of plan you can come up with and what your 30-second elevator speech is. So go!
Was that a useful conversation? Did you guys come up with anything for not quite ready fruit? I know, that's the danger, right? It's like you really want to end up, you catch yourself wanting to take a lot on, and you got to rein yourself in a little bit and stay focused. You caught me. So real quick, just want to point out that this tool is something you can take back and utilize in your teams. It's a great way to break things down into bite-sized pieces. So keep that in mind. Don't leave this piece behind. So, okay, what we're going to move on to is now up on the slide. And we're now at the sweet but hard to reach fruit. The kinds of things that you might want to tackle a year out. Maybe they're the slightly bigger projects. One example that I'll just put out there, but there are many, is maybe you've gotten to a place where you're feeling really good about how your culture is shaping up in your organization, whatever kind of organization that might be. But perhaps you want to start engaging with the wider community and bringing them into or integrating them into the ways that you're bringing your person-directed culture to life in your community, in your home care organization, whatever it might be. So that might be an example of something that, you know, it's a little bit more out there, may take a little bit more time to crystallize. Same process, same questions. You're going to choose an idea and then explore the questions beneath. We're going to give you 10 minutes. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of time to explore each of those questions. And shall we get started, Denise? After this round, we're going to have debrief sessions with you.
Is that they would like to share some celebrations that you're going to take back and go to the team. Whoa, look at what we've done. Anybody on this side of the room that are willing to share your harvested fruit? Come on, be brave.
Who would do that? She's going to have to choose one if you don't
Who
volunteer.
would do that? Come on, you got to make me look good. All right, yes. What am I doing? You harvested fruit.
Oh, I'm harvesting fruit.
Yes.
First thing I would say in my elevator speech is that I'm so proud of my team because they are doing such a great job at relational care partnering, that I'm proud of the fact that our elders are involved in hiring, that I'm proud of the self-directed work teams that have evolved on their own, that I think we have the best food and sharing of food with our Care Partners program in the universe, and that I'm really excited and proud that we're using the Rothschild format to give our elders what they really want, even when it's not safe or comfortable or easy or any of those things.
Thank you. All right, Laura, see if you can find some harvested fruit over there.
Where's my harvested fruit? The first one to raise your hand wins.
Oh man, she got 2 over there. Okay, I need another harvested fruit over here. Who else has got some? So be thinking.
You're
Century Care.
You're telling us what you came up with for harvested fruit, and then it would be great to hear like who you're going to tell about it.
Okay, our harvested fruit is, I'm very fortunate to lead a group of staff and elders that we haven't had but one complaint.
Hold it close. Hold it close.
One complaint in 4 years. But we just recently had one, so our staff is a little bit in shock, but we've sat here and talked about it, and the reason that we have that privilege is because our staff is empowered to take care of issues before they have the chance to escalate. Our elders also know that, and our families, that anything they bring to us will be handled immediately until they are okay with the resolution. So we're going to go back because we don't feel like we have let our staff and our families know what an accomplishment that is and what their part is in us being able to have that accomplishment. So what else, girls? Got? So I guess we're going to go back and educate and communicate to everybody how amazing that is, and like I said, their part in making that continue to be a goal of our, not facility, our home.
So that is awesome. I'm going to bounce one question back to you. I think that was a great specific example of what we were hoping people would come up with. Did you come up with any potential barriers to sustaining that success that you're going to need to be watching for?
Yes, actually, turnover is probably one of the biggest barriers, and that's what, as we discussed it, I don't think we do a good enough job letting our new employees know what they're becoming a part of and what their part can be in sustaining that.
Excellent. Let's give them a hand. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Do you have somebody else that wants to add to? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is look for, again, a couple of volunteers to share with us what you came up with for the low-hanging fruit section. So I'm going to start over here again, and then Denise will find a team over there. Who over here would like to share some of the things that you came up with for this section of the process? Don't make me call on you. I will. In a friendly way. Yay, team, go for it. Tell us who you are and where you're from, too.
My name is Jennifer James, and I'm serving as the interim state long-term care ombudsman for Arkansas. And this is my team of fearless regional ombudsmen. We do not have a facility, although we encompass the entire state of Arkansas, and they visit pretty much all of the facilities here. So our low-hanging fruit that we came up with was a complete change of the care plan for our communities.
Nice.
We felt that it would be worthwhile because revamping the care plan process will individualize how we take care of our elders. needs and their wants. Because above all, the needs and wants of the elders should be placed above everything else. And once the care plan has been individualized, it empowers our elders to be more involved in their level of care. And we would like to bring this information to the administrators, staff members, as well as families, and introduce it into the family council meetings that they have. And some of the barriers that would be included would be that we're not part of the nursing home system. And we would like to try to get the communities to buy into our ideas so they can implement that into their system, so the elders can have a lot more, more individualized care plans.
Way to go.
Excellent. Let's give them a hand. Absolutely. Go Ombudsman. Woo! Arkansas.
All right,
Do the
guys.
Razorback thing for me again.
Who's our
One second.
low-hanging fruit? Who has a low-hanging fruit story? All right, I'm here.
No, I can't. I've been empowered by our owner to do this. And our low-hanging fruit is data collection. You know, we do all these things, and because we're passionate about so many things, we don't take the time to record the proper data. And I'm sure that's not just in our homes, it's probably in a lot of homes. And so that's our low-hanging fruit that we're going to work on, is more data collection. So when we talk about this elevator speech, we can say, these are the numbers that prove the statistics of what we're doing. So people can understand your process of that. So when we go back, we're going to give this speech to everybody, because all it is taking credit for the things that you've already done. So actually, we don't have any barriers, just getting started.
Very nice. Thank you. All right, next up is the not quite ripe fruit. This is the stuff that's going to take you probably 3 to 6 months to kind of reach out and get people engaged. Who's got a good 3 to 6 month goal that you would be willing to share with the room? The sooner I get a volunteer, the sooner we move on. Come on, I know there's people working really hard over here. You guys have a not quite ripe fruit story? All right, I'm coming. Sweet.
One thing that we've got to quit doing is medicating behaviors. We need to figure out what's causing the behavior, why they're upset, why they're agitated, and not just, here's you an Ativan. We've got to stop doing that. I think the biggest barrier is going to be getting other people to understand you need to talk to the resident and you need to figure out what they're upset about. Maybe they just need a shoulder to cry on. Maybe they're missing somebody and they just need to talk about them.
Okay, say that again.
They have the right to be mad, sad, upset, just like we do.
Nice. All right, good goal. Thank you.
Okay, we're looking for somebody on this side of the room, although it doesn't have to be this side of the room. Over here.
For me, I was taking this from my work at St. John's. I just did a class on coaching. So for me, 6 months is really broadening the scope of our coaching conversations and having people have the skills to do that. Why do I think it's worthwhile? As we flip this script and have self-led teams and self-managed teams, this type of leadership, in my opinion, is crucial. Really approaching issues and situations with trust, honesty, and curiosity. I think I need to talk to our exec team, some neighborhood administrators, some formal leadership, making sure they have attended and they are using coaching conversations as well. I think we could do some coaching practicums, and some barriers that I see is always the dreaded time. And I also think the understanding of the severity of the need for this.
Thank you. Excellent. Let's give them a hand.
Nice. Okay. Last but not least, we have the sweet but hard to reach fruit. So let's start over here. This side of the room's starting to get a little quiet, and it's okay, but I know that one team no doubt has something to share. Yeah.
Who has
You don't
one
have to
over
stand up,
here?
but do tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name is Candace. I'm from New Jersey. Go Jersey! So what we thought was we're a larger organization that has multiple sites, multiple leadership teams, and we want to get the culture work back to those teams. So we want to have the formal leadership, the associates, the informal leaders established on each of the sites and owning their culture change movement, giving them education and kind of giving them guidance of where they need to go. But really, the 4-letter word of time, we added that to the list. It's a 4-letter word. That would be one of our barriers, and really making sure that leadership is walking the talk and doing what we need to do to support the teams moving forward.
Great. Any barriers that you identified that you know you'll need to address?
Time is the big one, and commitment. We are growing, so we're very focused on the future, but we need to focus on the current as well.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else you want to share about your conversation, your process? Excellent. Thank you.
You guys have one?
Denise, do you have, oh, look, we've got somebody right here. Do you have somebody too?
Where?
Right here.
Go. Yes. My exercise buddy. You go ahead.
That's
Laura's
all right.
closer.
You have to choose between us. It's really hard, I know. No, I'm kidding. So,
Did you have one too?
I'm from Willow Lodge in Nova Scotia, Canada. And in the next 6 months, right now we have a couple of intergenerational programs going in our facility with the nursery school and the local grade 5 class. And I think it could be expanded on a great deal, actually. And so over the next year, I'm going to try and expand that and develop it further and try and teach the grade 5s a little more about our domains and work with them. And the program we have with them right now is an art program. So they come to us once a month. So yeah, I think it needs to be more meaningful than it is. And the barrier I see right now is to get the support of the staff or the care partners, because right now it seems to all fall on recreation and volunteers, and I think it's important that those care partners are part of that, that project.
great. Anything else you want to add?
Okay. All right, we got one more over here, Laura.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's
give them a hand.
One of our one-year plans is we want to get our residents more outside, and there are some physical limitations which are our big barriers. And so we're thinking of how we can rearrange our building to make it more user-friendly for the elders who live there. And it's going to take some talking because funding is always an issue, and there will be some funding issues in the reconstruction. My 30-second speech is, we love our elders, it's for them, how can you not do it?
Nice. Thank you. Oh my gosh, super excited for all of you. Did we have